Hi, I'm Eddie Irvin with Software Accelerator Playbook, and I'm helping people plan out apps, app planning as a service. So if you've got an idea and you want to move into development, make sure you're ready for it. Make sure you have a solid app plan before you move forward. I can connect you with developers, but you want to make sure you do that crucial step of discovery and planning to make sure that you know exactly what you're asking for before you hire somebody to make it. Now, the question we're talking about today is what happens if I move forward but I'm not 100% ready for development? So this is in the case where you've got an idea and you just want to get it developed right away without going through a planning session. Now, what happens if you move forward? So let's talk about that. So obviously, all of these won't necessarily happen to you, but this is stuff to keep in mind. Now, if you move forward without a solid plan, you're probably going to be spending more money because there's going to be some kind of miscommunication. You'll be saying, hey, build this thing. The person on the other end will say, sure. They'll take your money. They'll build something close. And then you'll go, well, but I wanted it to do this, this, and this. And then they go, well, okay, well, you're going to have to pay me more money for that. And you could have, instead of going down that route, you could have said, no, I only want this very, very specific thing, and gotten so specific that they didn't waste any of their time and charge you and bill you for their time to build something you didn't need. So you're going to end up paying more money in order to move the app forward. Also wasted time, right? So you're spending all this time trying to get in touch with the developer, explain what you need. You want to get this thing out to the world. You want to share it, right? So if you go ahead and you build something and it's not what you need, then all the time that it took to get that whole thing done is now wasted, and now you're months behind or maybe even years behind where you could have been if you would have done it the right way. Also, you're going around in circles. They'll send something back and you say, no, that's not quite it, try this. Then they send something back and no, that's not quite it, try this. And then all this back and forth where you're trying to get in touch with them and they take a few days to get back to you, and on and on and on. And so what happens is you just feel so frustrated that you're going around and around in circles and you just want this thing done, but they need insight. They need to know what to do, and they're trying their best to figure it out. Hopefully they're trying their best. But then you end up just going around in circles, which again is a time waste and a money waste, but it's also just really frustrating to go around in circles when you just want to say, hey, here it is, let's do it, and just keep moving forward. Instead, you just keep feeling like you're going back to the start and back to the start and back to the start. Another thing is that it's an expensive game of telephone. So we always remember, I'm sure you remember as a kid, the idea of playing telephone where the first person would say something in the next person's ear, and then by the time it got around the circle, it's completely different from what it was originally. The difficulty here is that building an app is an expensive game of telephone, trying to say, hey, here's what I need. And then because of the translation issue, because of the communication issue, there's a lot of breakdown along the way. And then it's not like the game when we were playing as kids where we'd laugh about it. If it doesn't get communicated clearly, then you end up paying for it. And that is no fun. You do not want to play an expensive game of telephone. And this next one here is the vision doesn't match. So you've got this idea in your mind, you want it to kind of come to fruition, you say it, and you move forward to development, without making an app plan. And then the developer says, sure, I'll take your money. But then they build something that's, 60% of what you needed, 70% of what you needed, maybe 30% of it is spot on, and then the rest of it is just way off. So then you're stuck with this thing where it kind of works, or part of it works, but then the other part of it is just not functional. So you paid this money, you wasted this time, but the vision doesn't match what you're initially thinking. And so if you move forward into development, you actually start getting it developed before you really clarify that vision and go through an app planning process, then you're going to be stuck with some of this software that doesn't match it doesn't match your vision the way that you were thinking. And this last one here, this is frustrating. If you move forward but you're not 100% ready for development, you could be back to square one, but now with less money and less time. This is so frustrating to have gone through the entire process, to pour your heart into it, try to work on it, try to work forward with it, and you're getting it developed. You're so excited about getting it developed, but if you don't go through the planning process properly, then you get this thing back, and then now you're back to square one. You're right back to where you started, but now you've already spent money and you've already spent time. Now, if you don't want this to happen to you, please make sure that you get a solid app plan. I can help you with that. If you're interested, DM me or go to S.A.Playbook.com/YT to get a 9-step process explaining everything behind what goes into the app planning process and why you should definitely look into this crucial step. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share, and make sure to subscribe so that other people can find it and that you will be able to see updated information as well as I send out new videos. Thanks for being here. Bye.